Hello, my dear beloved children. Continuing the conversation about international organizations, I want to touch upon another aspect of them. Since, as a rule, these organizations include dozens, and some of them hundreds of countries, it is difficult, and sometimes impossible, to achieve a consensus on controversial issues. As a result, many vital problems for people can be solved over the years, as ongoing disputes between representatives of different countries do not allow for concrete decisions. This is especially painful when it comes to military conflicts, in which innocent people are killed, who have become hostage to the smarking of various political and military groups. This has happened more than once, and now such contradictions have entered a particularly acute phase. The most striking example of this is the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, which is now calming down and flaring up with renewed vigor, and no matter what efforts are made by the warring parties, it cannot be extinguished. Why is this happening? First of all, because any military conflict always comes from a single source, a deep state. Using their puppets in power, the Draco-reptili, remaining in the shadows, set each other with different countries under the most far-fetched pretexts. To do this, they have many techniques already worked out to the smallest detail, the main of which is the organization of a color revolution by overthrowing the legitimate power in the country and replacing it with fully controlled prochmen. And then everything unfolds according to a pre-planned scenario, the one that benefits them at the moment. This is exactly what happened in Ukraine, where the efforts of globalists unleashed a civil war and the once rich and generous land turned into a huge battlefield. Divide and conquer. This unchanging slogan of the deep state manifested itself in this case in the most monstrous way, dividing a single people through many years of influence on the consciousness of Ukrainians, which has nurtured in them hatred for their Russian brothers and sisters. Why did the Draco-reptiles succeed? Only because people completely controlled by him were in power, who were not free in their actions and who, at the behest of their masters, mercilessly broke and distorted everything that was once sacred to Russians and Ukrainians: history, religion, centuries-old traditions, and even the language itself. But let's get back to international organizations. Why can't they stop such wars? All for the same reason: the heads of these organizations are also not free in their actions. They obediently follow the orders of their invisible curators, ignoring the voice of the people and the protests of other members of these organizations free from the influence of the deep state. And so far, the first ones are winning. That is why it is so important to change leadership in all the world's leading international organizations, especially such as the United Nations, the European Parliament and the NATO bloc. As soon as this happens, the long-awaited peace will come on Earth, and the propaganda of hatred and discord between peoples cherished for years will go into oblivion. And when the leadership in the media, which are the main mouthpiece of globalists, changes, the long-awaited peace will very quickly reign on your planet, leaving on a hungry ration the military-industrial complex that has lived on the grief and suffering of millions of people for so long. We will stop there today. The Father Absolute, who loved you immeasurably, spoke to you.